Okay. I'm trying not to bed rot today, so. Ow. It is Friday, Junior. Another fucking... The dreams that we wished for one another, at least mine didn't cake. Me and Phoenix, that is, you know. The dream she wished for me did not show up. What do you think? Hold on. Okay, I got my coffee made finally. My latte. I got my latte. Damn, my plant babies are gorgeous. How you doing over there, Vinci? Oh, I learned something about her through observation. See, last year I noticed there was a lot of dead leaves on the bottom. Well, of course they're gonna die off. As the... Can I see my hand? Yeah, as the bark grows, like as you can see, like it's a ponytail. Big ponytail energy, duh. Like, she's not a bush, she's a succulent. So yeah, that makes sense. Last night's stream had me all fucked up. And then all I did was pile a bunch of sheets and blankets or whatever on top of the couch, over top the mess, and just got another blanket and laid down. That's what I used to do as a kid. Cause I was like, I was just gonna couch rot, bed rot, you know, bed rot, but in a couch. And I was like, no, I can't. I mean, I can. That's always an option, but do I really want to? What am I gonna do laying here? There's nothing I'm interested in doing today. There's nothing I'm interested in looking at. There's nothing. And I can't go back to sleep because I actually got a full night's sleep. And it would just get served to give me a headache. And I see the neurologist tomorrow. So there's that. Also realized that a lot of the things like I said before in other videos, where in recent videos I think they were, where I was saying that hold on, let me figure out where to put y'all. Let me just put you right there. That'll work. Can't see my face, but maybe if I scoot you over like that. Scoot you up like this. There we go. Okay, so since I was a little kid, I would make observations of the world around me. And the thing is, and speak them. Just be like, hey, isn't that this, that, the third? Or hey, you know, that's for this, that, the third, right? I'd make observations and question them and be like, what the fuck am I seeing? No, that's not what the. Okay. But in recent years, and if it wasn't that, it was like actively violent hostility and a violent rejection of what I'm observing, right? And it didn't matter who it was. People didn't want to fucking hear shit I had to say. But now all of everything I was saying it's coming to fruition. It's coming, people are waking the fuck up. They're noticing it, and everything I've gotten my ass beat for is being shouted from the rooftops. Even things that took me a while to learn. You know, through my own personal experiences. Like learning that, you know, having A, B, or C mental illnesses is not what makes you a bad person, for example. Because I had a really huge bias and prejudice against people with BPD. Even all the way up until my diagnosis just 2 years ago. No, last year. Damn, this year we're still in 2025. Jesus fucking Christ. Anyways, even up until then, I'm like, wait, what? So just having, you know, like, so, because I actually thought that they were bad people, but not by choice. Like, oh no, you're a terrible person, but that's not your fault. But I'm still not gonna fuck with you. That was my belief after a while. Like, you know, once I'd understood that having A, B, or C doesn't make you a bad person, I twisted it to be like, oh, but I mean, you objectively are, but that's not your fault. You know, that sort of thing, right? And then I realized I have BPD. That's when I got diagnosed. And I'm like, oh, so, and it just was like, oh shit. But the thing is, those really terribly held beliefs were during the time my brain was turned off. You know what I mean? Like, ew. You know, I didn't think at all for myself. Couldn't. I mean, I could, and I did when it counted, but that's like when it came to like my kid and shit like that. But like, I couldn't really think. Thinking was a struggle. All cognitive abilities were just slowly sinking while I was with that guy. And whether or not people want to admit it, he is a man. He's a man. A terrible man. A wretched man. An abusive man. Now, on the other hand, we have my bestie, Phoenix, who is also a man. Well, actually, he's a Phoenix, but that's complicated. Like, as of right now, his driver's license says male. Says he's a man. He look like a man. So, for all intents and purposes, he's a man. And he's the one that was knocking the rust off the cogs in my head, because they had stopped turning by the time he moved in with me at my last apartment. he'd knock the rust off of him by asking me questions, asking for my opinions, asking for my thoughts, and I'm like, and refusing to accept, oh, I don't know, what do you think, as an answer. He's like, that is not what the fuck I just asked you. I know what I think. I'm asking what you think, right? He's my best friend. Yeah, he was a terrible person during the Great Beef, and so was I. Only difference is I felt like I was justified in being a terrible person because he was being a terrible person first. I don't know which is worse. My bias leans towards mine being worse. Shit. Good thing it's time to wash my hair. You know? But yeah, yeah. Just I used to not understand gender at all. Like, at all. Like, it was easy as fuck to accept people for who they are and what they say they are and who they, like, you know what I mean? But I didn't understand it for shit. Like, and what's fucked up is I was able to ask questions that had nothing to do with their genitals to try and understand. Like, my mind doesn't go to people's genitals. Like, that's weird. That's weird. And what I say is, like, what would I say? What did I say? The crazy part is, I mean that facetiously. As in, it's not crazy. Just so many people would look at me like, I was crazy for just being like, look, I don't understand it either, but that's who they said they are. Why don't you just, you know what I mean? You're like, but it doesn't make sense. Yeah, to us. And I even admit when I would, and the reason I know I didn't understand is because some of the takes I had didn't hold up under scrutiny. Like how I had mixed feelings and confusion about, like, why the trans woman in RuPaul's Drag Race was owed an apology for being, like, disqualified and shamed with transphobia and stuff. And I didn't understand. I was like, I don't get it. Isn't drag queen means you're a man dressed up as a woman? And if you're a woman dressed up as a woman, whatever. And they're like, no, you don't understand. And I'm like, okay, obviously I don't. Like, the words were going in and they weren't computing. I was like, okay, I understand the feeling behind this, that this is definitely wrong, and my feelings agree with that feeling. My brain, on the other hand, is not computing. And now, years later, after just being like, you know what, I don't give a fuck, I was just like, I don't care. That's what it is. That's what it is. I don't understand it. It's whatever. I didn't even try to understand it anymore. I was like, this is wrong, okay? Like, I don't have the words to explain it because I don't quite understand it, but it feels like it's a wrong thing. And then the right was righted and stuff, like, you know what I mean? The wrong was the wrongs were righted. And I was like, okay, this is good. This is good. This makes me happy. And like, and then over time, just like taking in content and then questioning my own gender and then like meeting people of so many different genders. And I was like, then starting to question my own, being like, I don't know how I actually feel. Because I would ask women, all these different women, like, how do you know you feel like a woman? Like, how does it feel to be a woman? They're like, don't you know? I was like, actually, I don't. And they would all look at me like, with this knowing look. Not condescending at all. No. That knowing that I see you. You may not see you, but I see you. Right? And I'm like, that's when I realized I'm not. That's not when. That's what planted the seed of curiosity as to what am I? You know? I am a lynx. God damn it. Actually, you know what? No, it's too hot and humid out there. And yes, I'm drinking a hot beverage in the heat. Okay? That's my right as a living being. That's another thing that I got a lot of pushback and violence faced, when I voiced these things. Like, people would say, it's my right as an American citizen. I was like, how about it's your right as a human being? What the fuck does being an American citizen have to do with it? And they're like, because we're home of the free. I was like, so we're the only country that has freedom. And they're like, well, no. I'm like, well, then what the fuck? And, yeah, I'd get a lot of hostility and a little bit of violence when I say things like that. Like, they're taking away our rights. Yeah, our constitutional rights, which weren't rights to begin with. Human rights are not given or taken away. They're only punished for being exercised. That is the difference. Your human rights are things you're born with. Literally. You're born as a human, therefore, as a human, you have these rights. I don't make the rules, but a lot of people think that somebody does. Fuck nature. Let's just act like we're an anomaly. Like human beings, the human race is just an anomaly from another planet. Like we're not actually from here. Oh no. We don't follow the laws of nature. The laws of nature have nothing to do with us. That's some of the pushback I got. Like, I'm like, y'all don't get it. Like, I don't understand. Like, I was crushed. I didn't realize that I'm a lifelong communist. Never even knew it. I didn't know that all my beliefs lined up with communist ideology. Like, I used to question, like, why though? Why though? I used to want to be a billionaire, right? Because I thought, if with that kind of money, I could do so much good. But then I realized, in recent years, learned, oh, I couldn't be a billionaire and still be a good person. I can't do any good along the way of becoming a billionaire. I'd have to not be a good person. But I don't want to hide. Why would I? And I was like, okay. And by recent years, I mean grown-up recent years. I mean like 10 years ago or whatever, right? Not even 10. Almost 10. Like 8 years ago, I had made this realization, you know? I was like, oh yeah, I guess that wouldn't make any fucking sense. That is not an achievable goal because my values behind that goal don't align with the goal. Okay. Like, there was a lot of indoctrination, not gonna lie. It's not like I was never... There's still... Because it really frustrates me. Like, if I had just stuck to my guns and refused to believe in any of the indoctrination, if I had not allowed it to happen. But then that's actually just another form of victim blaming. Because how the fuck was I supposed to not to? I was a child. And then it was beaten into me as a child. Of course it's gonna take root. It didn't feel good. Didn't feel right. Something always felt off. Like, I don't understand. I don't get it. And you can blame the autism if you want. Because a strong sense of justice is obviously a symptom of neurodivergence. That is disturbing in and of itself. That the world accepts. The world has normalized being a terrible fucking person and excusing other people for being terrible fucking people. That anybody who doesn't fall in line with that is neurodivergent. I need that to be removed from the list of symptoms because that enrages me. That is disgusting. That is evident of how corrupt the entire society is that believes this shit. Like, do y'all hear yourselves? Do y'all hear yourselves? A strong sense of justice. If you only took that symptom, quote unquote, and applied that, and if you only went by that one symptom, you could then apply it to so many people. And that would skew the numbers badly. Like, really badly. Because if you have neurotypical, quote unquote, people that have a strong sense of justice, then you're insisting in a way that you're undeniably insisting that is a divergence from typical neurological makeup. Like, that's not true though. Anyways. But I say all this to say that I've recently decided to accept that not everybody's that observant. I know plenty of people that are, and we just geek out together like, oh my God, I'm not crazy. You see it too. You've seen the pattern too. You've seen the trends within history and society, and you see where it's going at this rate. Like, we've been here before. So I'm not saying that I'm exceptional, like or remarkable in any kind of like, oh, I'm a genius, I'm a psychic, I'm so special. No. I'm just saying that the number of us are scattered. There's tons of us, but we're scattered. If we gathered together, just people like me and my besties, we could literally just go about toppling corrupt systems one by one. Like that game. Hold on. Don't let me mess up the name of it. I gotta ask Phoenix the name of that game real quick. Hold on. Okay, it wasn't that game, but it was a different game that's been copy and pasted in so many different ways, in mobile apps or whatever. But it's like a giant hole, right? It starts off as a small hole, and then as you move the hole around the screen, like it's going like this, and there's stuff that falls into it, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, right? It's kind of like that. Like, if we concentrated in one spot and moved towards the one specific fucking goal of fucking up the status quo, toppling systems that oppress everybody, we would just grow and grow in numbers, and there would be none of their bullshit left. We are legion. No, I'm joking. Too many people have ruined that that thing. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. Ah! Anywho, I'm just saying, I accept this. Like, I'm no longer angry at all the oblivious pieces of shit. Stop calling them pieces of shit, Linksy. They're not all pieces of shit. I feel like they are, but that doesn't make it true. Because the systems in place made it so. And just because I don't fuck with them doesn't mean I don't want to see them eat. Just not at my table. Tupac Shakur. That's literally how I feel now. Like, I'm not going to talk shit anymore about the complacency and the implicit, like, the neutral people, because the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. I'm indifferent to y'all's feelings. Now, the victims, on the other hand, I spend more than 5 seconds thinking about all the victims and casualties and loss due to these systems. And I am crushed. My soul gets crushed by it. God, that's delicious. And it makes it harder for me to remember that joy is an act of resistance. Because that's what they want. They want to break our spirits. They want us to be in such a state of disbelief and dissonance that we don't resist. That we just obey in advance. That's why I'm not going to be taking to the streets. That's why I'm not going to be protesting. Because I don't have enough allies physically within my physical vicinity. And I mean allies. Actually not so much allies, but accomplices. I don't have anyone that I can trust to have my back. So, yeah. Okay, sorry, I needed a minute. Let me leave y'all on a brighter note, because I did end up doing a palate cleanse on social media and saw two really cool examples of what I mean by white people that appropriate. It's appropriation versus appreciation. I found two cool examples of appreciation that I think are they just made me smile. Like, they just made me smile. Like, like, oh my God, just, oh my God. They just made me fucking smile. 'Cause it just, there was this little white girl on the stage. I don't know how she got there, but she at the cookout, basically. Most of the performers on stage were black. They was rapping. Everybody was rapping. She was rapping with them. Everybody in the crowd, except for like a few white dots, were black and brown. And they were like, give her a rapper name. This bitch was killing it. I'm sorry. This little girl was killing it. This little girl was killing it. They handed her the mic. I was just like, oh, that's so fucking awesome. That just made me smile so big. And then there was a video. This was a reel on Instagram, by the way. And another reel on Instagram. These white folks made up their own little line dance to a black line dance song, Wobbles. You could see, I know about country ass white people line dancing, right? And I could see that. It was cool. I was like, oh shit. And they put some soul in it. They put a little seasoning on it. I liked it. I like that. I was like, see, I told y'all. I told y'all you can do it. You can do it. It's okay. And we will give you your props. We just don't like when y'all try to cosplay as us. Be yourself, bitch. Okay? Everybody was cheering for that little girl. I thought it was cool. Now, what was weird was why they gotta look so straight faced. I'm starting to notice that a lot of dancers be so straight faced because they're concentrating. And it doesn't matter the color. I'm just saying a lot of people just got their dance face on, and sometimes it just looks serious. I got no room to talk though, because my default face, no matter what it is, my face is derpy looking. Or derpy angry looking. Angry derp. I got an angry derp face. So I'm not talking shit. I'm just making an observation. Like, huh. At least if I could look like that, I wouldn't look so fucking goofy. Anyways, I love y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow for some more coffee. Another latte. Or whatever hot beverage that you prefer.